Welcome to the Beau Show, your home for faith, family, and freedom. Jimmy Kimmel is the host of the late-night talk show Jimmy Kimmel Live on ABC, which began in 2003. Kimmel was born in Brooklyn, New York, and is of Italian and German descent, and was raised Catholic as an altar boy. His family moved to Las Vegas, where he attended UNLV and then transferred to Arizona State. He was inspired by David Letterman, who began his career in radio, so Jimmy Kimmel also began in radio as the co-host of a morning drive show in Seattle. One of the stunts that he pulled on air, however, led to a loss of $8,000 in advertising revenue. This type of poor decision-making would foreshadow some of his current ratings malaise. Kimmel was fired by that Seattle station and hopped around the country from Tampa to Palm Springs to K-Rock in Los Angeles, where he was Jimmy the Sports Guy. And in these early years, he recruited Carson Daly as an intern, and he also became friends with comedian Adam Carolla. Kimmel did not want to be on TV, but after writing spots for Fox Television, he was eventually asked to begin doing on-air promotions. It wasn't until 1997 when he was offered to be the comedic foil to the dry wit of Ben Stein did he go on to co-host Win Ben Stein's Money, for which that pair won an Emmy Award. I remember watching that show as a kid and enjoying it. Ben Stein, of course, was a former speechwriter for Richard Nixon and was known for his dry drone in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Kimmel was Stein's sidekick on Win Ben Stein's Money. But in 2001, Kimmel left the show to co-host The Man Show for Comedy Central with his new friend Adam Carolla. It was on this show that Kimmel regularly impersonated NBA star Karl Malone, a black man. Here's a clip of that.
As Karl Malone get older, he started thinking about things like dropping down dead. People always asking Karl Malone, is there life after death? Well, Karl Malone don't know. Some folk believe you're going to heaven or to hell. Karl Malone would prefer heaven, that's for dang sure. But other folk think dead dude come back to earth in different shape. And that there's called reincarnation. Now, my whole thing is this. If there do have such a thing as reincarnation, Karl Malone don't want to be coming back to earth as no chicken. Chicken got a dang deal going on here on earth. Locked up in pan, getting fried up, barbecued, wings getting chopped off and dipped in delicious, tangy hot sauce. Karl Malone do love them hot wings. And that's what Karl Malone's whole thing. Who in the hell want to live in coop with chopped off wing? Not Karl Malone. That's what Karl Malone hoping he get into heaven. Because this reincarnation, that's for the birds right there. That's for the bird. Get that? That's because talking about Karl Malone made a good one right there for the bird. Until next time, this is Karl Malone for the bird. That's a good one, right?
Now, the reason it's important to see this is because Kimmel is in blackface. He is making fun of Malone's speaking style and his intelligence. He also did this to make fun of Oprah.
My body is my temple. That's why I start every morning with a brisk aerobic workout. But I can't do it alone. Workouts are easier when you have a partner. My workout partner is my maid, Marguerite. Marguerite's soft brown stomach protects my knees and ankles from unnecessary wear and tear.
Not too much longer, mi sopra, okay?
Cállate! That means shut up in Spanish.
In the lens of 2022, this looks bad. But it's also the lens with which the left looks through to cancel people that they don't like. Megyn Kelly was fired from her NBC show just for saying this.
So there was a controversy on The Real Housewives of New York with Luann, as she dresses Diana Ross, and she made her skin look darker than it really is, and people said that that was racist. And I don't know, I thought, like, who doesn't love Diana Ross? She wants to look like Diana Ross for one day. I don't know how, like, that got racist on Halloween.
It's not
like she's walking around
I have
general.
not seen it, but it sounds a little racist to me.
Yeah,
Me too.
and by the way, I haven't seen the other, but if she really wanted to look like Diana Ross, she should have dressed as Michael Jackson. Because they... I don't know. I can't keep up with the number of people that.
Just come on, we're already in the deep end.
Literally,
of the pool.
I can't keep up with the number of people that we're offending just by being like normal people these days.
Kelly was merely talking about her childhood and how people dressed for Halloween. Part of what hosts do on TV is to talk things out so that people can give you perspective. You bounce off ideas. That one comment, however, was her demise at NBC. But Jimmy Kimmel can impersonate and make fun of Karl Malone and Oprah all day long with no consequence to his career. Why is that? During the 2004 NBA Finals in Detroit, Kimmel appeared at halftime to plug his show. He suggested that if the Detroit Pistons defeated the LA Lakers, the people of Detroit would burn the city down, and it's not worth it. That comment led to ABC pulling his entire show off the air that night, and Kimmel later apologized. So you see, Kimmel is no stranger to making comments or even impressions for which he has apologized, but nothing has ever happened negatively to his career. While other folks, from Kevin Hart to Megyn Kelly to Papa John Schnatter, have suffered significant damages and opportunities. In October of 2013, Kimmel had a segment on his show called Kids Table, where he spoke with 5- and 6-year-olds about the U.S. government shutdown and our debts to China. Take a look.
Question. America owes China a lot of money, $1.3 trillion. How should we pay them back?
Shoot Kane and all the way over and kill everyone in China.
Kill everyone in China?
Yes.
Okay, that's an interesting idea. Yes.
Put a huge wall so they can't come to us.
You're saying build a wall in China? A huge, great kind of a wall?
Yeah.
That would never happen.
A huge house.
Allie,
You say it.
when you owe someone money, should you pay them back?
Never.
Well, then they won't lend you money anymore.
And that's the problem.
Should this country be forced to pay our own debts?
Yes!
Yeah, but you just said kill everyone in China a little while ago. What happened to that?
And we
Should we allow the Chinese to live?
Yes! But if we don't allow them to live, then they'll try to kill us. But then they will all be killed. Right, they're going to all be killed. If we kill them, they won't pay us.
Well, this has been an interesting edition of Kids Table, the Lord of the Flies edition. I'd like to thank my correspondents, Braden, Ava, Braxton, Allie. You've been wonderful. Let's take a gummy break, shall we?
Yeah!
This segment was so controversial that a petition was created and reached the 100,000 signature threshold for the White House to respond. And when addressing the Karl Malone situation, he said the following, quote, "There is nothing more important to me than your respect. And I apologize to those who were genuinely hurt or offended by the makeup I wore or the words I spoke. We hired makeup artists to make me look as much like Karl Malone as possible. I never considered that this might be seen as anything other than an imitation of a fellow human being, one that had no more to do with Karl's skin color than it did his bulging muscles and bald head," unquote. Indeed, maybe Kimmel did not know at that time because it had not been as vilified and cancelable as it is today. But still, nothing detrimental has happened to Kimmel's career. In fact, he hosted the Primetime Emmy Awards in 2020. Videos have since surfaced of him using racial slurs in a music video and joking about Megan Fox's sexualization at age 15. He took a convenient summer hiatus as the Karl Malone saga was brewing, but he also never addressed the Megan Fox situation. Over the years, Kimmel became more overtly political and showed his true bias. He had a segment called Mean Tweets, in which celebrities would read mean tweets about themselves. He did this with President Obama. And I want to play part of that for you.
President Obama will go down as perhaps the worst president in the history of the United States! Exclamation point at real Donald Trump. Well, at real Donald Trump, at least I will go down as a president.
Ah, touche. Because in spite of his phone drop and elation from the audience, Donald Trump did become president. And perhaps Obama has been eclipsed by his VP, Joe Biden, as the worst president in history. So that leads me to a point that Kimmel made in a recent podcast called The Naked Lunch. I want you to hear what he says.
I want to be on the air when Donald Trump goes to jail. I very much want that.
What a beautiful sentiment.
I think I would be heartbroken if I was
What's your gut tell you? And you know people. What do you think's going to happen?
My gut, first of all, I'm going to tell you, my gut always tells me the wrong thing, like when it comes to Donald Trump. But I still believe, even after living through the OJ trial and whatever, that I still believe that justice triumphs in America. And I know there are a billion different examples to the contrary, but there just seem to be too many different cases against him. I mean, the guy is how can you commit this many crimes and be this unethical and be this this terrible and get away with it? I think the only way he's going to get away with it is if he has a heart attack or something, and that's the last we see of him. And I feel like in some ways that's what he's trying to do. He's just trying to draw this out until he dies.
So I'll stop here, because Kimmel believes in his heart of hearts that Trump is so unethical that he wants to revel in it when Trump goes to jail. I never heard Kimmel say anything like this regarding Hillary Clinton with her email server or Benghazi, or Joe Biden's unethical business dealings in Ukraine and China, or his son Hunter. Kimmel suffers from what we now know as Trump derangement syndrome. It is a deep-seated hatred that prevents him from seeing any objective truth. So Kimmel only looks forward to the day when he's hosting so that he can take a victory lap at Donald Trump's demise.